I'm Sarah, and I'm going to be doing your intake questions today. I just want to let you know if you have any legal obligations, any intent to hurt yourself, to hurt others, or anything like that, I will have to report it.
Alright, sounds good.
So tell me a little bit about yourself. What is your name?
Annie.
Okay, and what would you say is your ethnicity and your race?
I'm obviously Caucasian. I am Irish and a little bit of Scottish. I'm not really big on my background. It's not really important to me.
Okay, and how old are you?
I'm 20.
Okay, so you were a junior in college?
Yes.
Okay. Now, what is your occupation? Do you have a part-time job?
I do. So I'm a full-time student, and part-time I work at Children's Hospital Child Care Center, which is right up the street from campus. And I'm just basically take care of the toddlers all day. I love kids, so.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what are you studying in school then?
Psychology.
Okay, that's really good then. What is your religion?
I was raised Catholic. I wouldn't really say I'm a religious person. I went to mass all growing up. My mom was very into it, but it's not really that important to me anymore.
And so, what is your marital status? Are you single? Are you in a relationship?
I'm in a relationship. It's relatively new. We've been dating for 2 months, I think.
That's good.
Yeah.
Does he live around here?
Yeah, he lives in Austin. He goes to BU, so not far at all.
Nice. Okay, now, what is the problem that brings you in today? What do you feel you want to discuss?
So I'm having a lot of issues at home, and it's stressing me out at school because I feel like I have to worry about it all the time. My parents are in the middle of a really ugly divorce, and my dad still lives at home, and it's just hard to deal with because recently my mom moved all of my dad's clothes and stuff into my room, so I feel like I don't really have a room at my house, so I don't really feel that I can go home and spend time with my family. If I want to sleep over, like I don't really know what to do, and my mom claims that she's going to file for divorce soon, but I don't really know if that's going to happen. She's been saying that for a while. And so it's just really frustrating because I know that it would be better for my parents to be divorced, but it does take such a long time, and it's also really expensive. And neither of my parents really have the money to pay for it right now.
Okay.
And so there's the issue with that. And then also a big factor of it is I'm concerned about the relationship I'm going to have with my dad after he does move out and get divorced from my mom because we aren't really close now. And so I feel like it's just going to get worse as things go on and how when they eventually are divorced because I am very close to my mom and I don't really want that to affect my relationship with my dad, but I know it will.
Okay. So tell me a little bit, speak a little bit more about your family and your upbringing. I know you said you're close to your mom and you're not as close to your dad. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so I have 2 sisters, one older and one younger. My older sister just graduated from college, and she lives at home now. She's in a grad school program, and she works a lot. My little sister is 17, so she's a junior in high school. I grew up very close to my sisters. We had a very active childhood, very creative. I had a very fun childhood. I was close with both my parents back then. I would have even said that I was like a daddy's girl. But it changed as I got older. I would say that I went through like the typical teenage girl phase where you're really mean to your parents, and that kind of wrecked my relationship with my father. And I gained my relationship back with my mom when I went to college. I'm not really sure why. I just started talking to her more. I told her more about my life. Overall, I had a pretty great childhood. I moved around a lot, though. My dad hasn't really been able to keep a job for long, so he lost his job when I was 7, I think, and we had to move all the way to Ohio. And so that was different. I didn't really mind at the time. I was so young. And then we moved back, and now we still live in Massachusetts. But, yeah.
Okay. So, would you say that you have tried to maybe talk to your mom about some of these issues? I know you said that you're close with her. Have you talked to her a little bit how that stresses you out about how she moves the clothes into your room?
Yeah, she knows it bothers me, but she claims that it's all going to be figured out before Thanksgiving, but I highly doubt that. And it's hard, though, because they kind of put me in the middle and expect me to choose sides, and I obviously don't want to be in that position because they're both my parents. But I try not to talk about my dad to my mom or the other way around because I know it just will cause issues. So I could talk to like my sister or like my friends. Right. So, but it's hard because my friends don't really understand because they've never gone through anything like this. Mm-hmm. So my sisters are really the only ones that like actually get it.
Now, do you think moving around a lot has kind of changed your relationship with your parents, or has it helped it, or has it made it worse, or how do you feel about that?
I don't think it really affected me when I was younger because most of the changes happened when I was younger. So the house we live in now, we moved to when I was in 8th grade, and so I was like kind of older but still very young, and so we've been in one house since then, and then my parents' marriage was like still alive then, and then it just kind of like deteriorated over time. But I don't really know what affected that. I haven't really thought about that, but I don't really like change, so moving kind of affected me, but I got used to it.
Okay. So now would you say moving around has affected your social life, like maybe your friends growing up or relationships that you've had with people? Would you say that those were affected by the fact that you moved around?
Not really. I mean, I went to an elementary school in Wellesley for the first half of my life, and then when we moved to Ohio, I didn't really know if we were coming back, and so it was hard to leave my friends, but we ended up coming back, so I was back with them. Mm-hmm. So I didn't really experience a lot of change, and then I went to my high school, 7th through 12th grade, so I didn't move there. I stayed with my friends, but I guess it was hard to leave my friends in Ohio when I was 10, so...
Now, you talked about how you're just recently in a new relationship. Do you talk to him about some of these problems?
Sometimes. It's hard, though, because I find myself getting frustrated when he doesn't really understand or doesn't know what to say, mm-hmm. which isn't really fair because I know that he's never had to go through something like this, so mm-hmm. I don't know. I feel almost kind of guilty for getting mad at him because it's not his fault because he obviously has no idea what to say or how to handle it. But I'm hoping that doesn't like put a restraint on our relationship because I have a feeling that things are only going to get like much worse when my parents actually get divorced.
Now, are you close with members that are outside of your direct family, like maybe your grandparents, uncles, aunts? Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, I used to be really close to my cousins growing up, but then my mom had a falling out with my dad's sister, and so we don't talk to them anymore, which is hard because on holidays I see everyone like getting together with their families and spending a lot of time, and I don't really have that anymore.
Yeah.
So it is kind of depressing, but at the same time, like I know that it's probably for the better because it's like my mom's family hates my dad's family, and like my dad's family hates my mom's family, so you can't really win. And it's hard because my mom's sister, which is the one that she's close with, mm-hmm. Hates my dad, so she refuses to come to our house. Okay. So that's difficult. And I'm not close to my grandma. The rest of my grandparents died, but she's just not a nice woman. She's my dad's mom. They were raised kind of weird, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, changing topics, would you like to tell me maybe some of your interests? What do you do on your free time?
Yeah. So I really enjoy swimming and exercising. So I swim twice a week and work out probably like 6 times a week. I find it's like a good outlet for stress. And I was always a very active child. And so I'm used to that kind of thing. And I work, and I love kids, so I babysit a lot. Work. When I go home, I'm a lifeguard, so I get to like swim and do that, and so that's nice. And I also just like hanging out with my friends, like going out on the weekends. It's different now that I'm in a relationship because I have to find that balance of like time between friends, family, and him, and so it's difficult, but like I'm enjoying it so far. So
That's good.
yeah.
Are you on any clubs at campus? Like, do you live on campus?
I do, yeah.
Okay.
I'm in swim club, and that's pretty much it. I've never really been involved in school and things, but this year I'm actually doing very well in school. I have like probably the best grades that I've had in like over a year.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I feel like although my family's going through a hard time, I'm just like channeling my energy into something else.
That's really good. Now, how often would you say that you go home?
Not as often as I did last year. I found myself going home a lot first semester last year. This year I've just been so busy, like if I'm working or babysitting or like hanging out with my boyfriend or my friends, I don't really like find myself having time to go home, but
Right.
I try to make an effort to go home like once a month, just to like
Okay.
spend time with them because my family is important to me.
Now, do you find that when you go home, it's comfortable for you, or are you uncomfortable because of the situation that's going on? Is that kind of why you don't go home as much?
Yeah, it's definitely more comfortable when my dad isn't home. It's just kind of awkward when he is. I'm relatively used to it because it's been going on for the past like 5 years, but part of me like does wish he would just move out because I know it would make my mom a lot happier and like help the whole like atmosphere of my house because it is pretty uncomfortable. Like they're living two separate lives but in the same house.
Right.
And so I'm not looking forward to Thanksgiving or Christmas because I don't really know what's going to happen. And it's
Right.
always awkward because my dad wants to be with us for holidays, but my mom like doesn't want him in the house.
Right.
So
Now, where is your home?
West Roxbury, Massachusetts.
So do you take the T to get there if you go home?
Yeah, I could.
Okay. So it's not that far.
No, not at all.
Okay. Now talk a little bit to me about your school history. You said this year you're getting the best grades that you've had.
Mhm.
How do you feel about school? Do you enjoy it?
I've always enjoyed the social aspect of school rather than the academic part. I was never really into school in high school. I didn't really want to go to college. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I thought school was kind of stupid, like a waste of my time because I would see people getting like so worked up about grades and I just like wouldn't understand like why they would take it so seriously because I don't know. But lately I've just been like doing my work but not excessively worrying about it.
Okay.
And so I've definitely found like a balance between the two.
Okay. Now, you babysit and you work at Children's. Do you find that sort of helps you cope with what's going on at home as well?
Yeah, the kids definitely make me happy. And I do enjoy going to work. So that's definitely like a positive part of my life. I've worked there for like a year almost.
Now, when you go there, do you get paid for it?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Which is definitely a bonus.
Now, so do you, during your high school years, did you find that your social life was better than what it is now, or would you say that it's about the same?
It's about the same. I've always had a good amount of friends. I like to have a variety of like different type of friends. It's just the way I've always been. I wouldn't describe myself as shy at all. I guess when I don't really know someone, I can feel like kind of uncomfortable at first, but usually no. I'm kind of like the like outspoken, like wild friend. So like I'll be the one to be like, oh, like let's go out. I definitely have had like rough times with my roommate. I don't know my roommates. My friends last year,
Mhm.
but things have been going very well this year.
Okay. Now, do you mind talking to me a little bit more about your sisters, maybe about how the relationships that you have with them, and if that kind of helps you cope with the situation as well?
I've always had a close relationship with my older sister. It's definitely gotten better as we've gotten older, and now that she's living at home, it's much better than it has been for the past 4 years because she went to school in Philadelphia, and so I barely got to see her. I saw her like Thanksgiving, Christmas, and then in the summer, which was a big change for me because we were very close in high school. We went to the same school, so we spent every day together, and I had just gotten used to not really seeing her, talking to her, so now it's better because I have more opportunities to spend time with her.
Okay. Now, how do you find that they are coping sort of with the situation that's going on?
My older sister is handling it very well. She's kind of the one that like keeps us all together. She's kind of doing her own thing. Like, she's an adult. She has to figure out her own life. But my little sister's taking it very hard because she's the one that's still dependent on my parents. And so she's kind of taking like the brunt of the divorce, which is hard, but there's not really anything she can do about it because she still has another year and a half of high school.
Yeah. Now, what are your goals? What do you hope to do after college? Do you look to go to graduate school, or what are your plans there?
I'm definitely going to go to grad school because I feel like most jobs nowadays need a graduate degree. I'm not really sure what I want my career path to be. I'm hoping to get an internship in some form of research next semester to see if I want to do that because I've been talking a lot with my career advisor about that and different options, and I've never really sat down and thought about what I want to do with my life. I've always just kind of been like, I don't know.
Right. Now, where would you hope to go to graduate school?
I don't know. Probably somewhere local.
Okay. Okay. Now, tell me a little bit about your past mental health history.
I have a history of anxiety. When I was younger, it like started one time I like threw up at school, and then like from then on I was like terrified that I would throw up at school again, so I would like make myself sick. But I'm so used to it, it barely affects me anymore.
Okay.
Sometimes it will, but I'm able to like get a handle on it. Other than that, nothing really.
Now, is there anything as far as your family for mental health issues that you know of?
On my mom's side, no. On my dad's side, there's definitely a history of bad mental health. I'm not really sure what was wrong with his father, but he was like mentally abusive, physically abusive, so that definitely affected my father. I'm not really sure what exactly he was diagnosed with. I never really asked.
Okay.
It's like a sensitive subject.
Okay. Now, are you currently on any medications?
No.
And have you ever been hospitalized?
No.
Okay. Any past medical issues? I know you talked a little bit about anxiety. How's your health, today?
It's pretty good. Yeah.
Okay.
Haven't had any issues.
Okay. Now tell me a little bit about maybe, any past substance abuse, anything within that maybe you've used?
I definitely went through a phase where I would drink a lot. I don't think it was abuse or anything, but I would just drink like way more than my friends would. But I've leveled out. I find myself like barely drinking now. So
Now, what age would you say that was around?
definitely freshman year of college, so 18.
Okay. Now, can I ask you, these issues that have been going on with your parents, has that just been something that I know you talked about how they have kind of been separate for a little while, but has that been something that has just happened, or has it been something that's been going on for a long time?
It's been going on for probably 5 years since I was like a sophomore in high school.
Okay. Now, is there any substance use within your family?
I think my father's dad was an alcoholic, but I'm not 100% sure.
Okay. Now, talk to me about maybe any past or even current trauma, grief, loss, maybe deaths in your family, something that has affected you.
I haven't really had any. My grandpa died when I was 8, so I barely remember that. And my grandma died before I was born, so I never even got to meet her. Other than that, I haven't really experienced any major loss.
Now, would you say maybe that this situation that's going on between your parents, would you say that since that's been going on for a while, that that could be traumatic maybe?
Definitely, yeah.
Okay. Any past or current abuse, physical, sexual, emotional?
No.
Okay. And you feel safe within your relationship?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Any past or current suicidal, homicidal idea, behavior, anything?
No.
Okay. So you never asked yourself how life would be without you or anything?
No.
Okay. Any legal issues? Have you ever been in trouble with the law?
No.
Okay. It's been great talking to you, and I will see you next time.